Guys, it's Tanya and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with finally a bowling alley build. I know it's been a little while since this pack first came out, but unfortunately all of my content had been pre-recorded up until today? This is the first fresh new piece of content and I am so excited to share it with you. This bowling alley is pretty basic on the outside. It's kind of like just a square. But the reason I did that is because I modeled this after the bowling alley that I went to when I was a kid. It's slightly different and I'll address that as we get to it, but I wanted to base it off of something that I was familiar with, and so that's what I did. I had a lot of fun reminiscing over my bowling days. I actually did bowling every single week as a child and I had trophies and it was a fun time. It was with my daycare, so I wanted to go ahead and try and recreate this alley. I made the outside slightly different than the one I went to. The one I went to was like really boring looking on the outside. This one's not that exciting either. It just has like a taller section right there, which doesn't really serve a purpose. I just kind of wanted to add it a little bit of a, it makes me think of like mid-century modern houses, which there will be a build of one of those sometime soon too, so look out for that. But anyway, we're just messing with the roof and stuff out here. I wanted to use some of the new chevron paneling on the outside and the new stones as well because I really like them. I am very happy with the different build and buy mode things that we got with this pack. I think they're really, really nice. And they're very versatile too. I love the stone and the chevron. Oh, so many builds you can use these in. They're so nice. But I just wanted to use them on the exterior here to go with our little bowling alley, and we're adding some pictures outside to be like, hey guys, this is a bowling alley. And we should be getting that giant sign sometime soon too. Yes, this one. And we size it on up. Tried putting it on the roof, but I didn't like it, so it ended up being on the ground right here. Which I thought looked really nice. Anyway, when we jump onto the inside, this area has like a little cafe. It also has vending machines. The most unrealistic part, based on like the one I had as a kid, is the bathrooms are not, we're not on either side of the bowling alleys. They were actually in the back, but I didn't have enough space in this lot to do that, so I went ahead and did that. Those were actually like staff areas to go behind the bowling alleys if they needed repairs, and stuff like that. So that is the one thing that's a little different. And then I placed these rugs. Oh my god. Okay, so these are probably like the ugliest rugs that exist, but they're exactly what my bowling alley had. It wasn't like just single rugs like that though. It was like carpeting. The entire place was carpeted with those. And I hate them. They are so ugly. But since I was trying to make my bowling alley from when I was a kid, I had to include them because, you know, that's what we had. And I just think it's so great that the Sims were able to capture that. The ugly carpeting of movie theaters that made me so happy. And we're just placing bowling balls between each lane here. Tried to make it like, it's very symmetrical, which isn't necessarily like a bad thing, but I mean, usually I don't like symmetrical. But at bowling alleys and places, there's usually just like I guess that seemed right, symmetrical for this, all the things you do. I tried raising up these shoe shelves. I think we added a fourth one at some point as well. But, oh yeah, and we added these dividers between all of the little seats. And the seats actually end up being orange because they were bright orange, kind of like an off orange, actually, like a reddish orange at my movie theater. Not my movie theater, my bowling alley. I cannot speak today, but what is new with that? Nothing. I can't speak any day. So we added these orange benches here. I really wish they had like a reddish orange color, like a blood orange color, because that would have been perfect for the type of seating we had. But we also had tables like this lining where we would always go and sit down because I went bowling with daycare and we got McDonald's every time we went to the theater. After the bowling alley, we would get McDonald's while we were there. And it was bumper bowling because we were kids, and so I have a bunch of bumper bowling trophies, and I also have one that just says McDonald's Kids Club. I don't know if it was like sponsored by McDonald's or like what the heck it was, but I went with daycare every week. I don't remember which day, but we got trophies every year, and we got McDonald's every week, and it was really fun. And I was never a very good bowler, but you know, it was exciting. The worst part was probably the bowling shoes, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on that. Bowling shoes are pretty ugly. They did a really good job at incorporating the ugly bowling shoes into this pack, though. Like the red, white, and blue ones, that's the kind we had. They're so bad. I also really like these lamps. I don't remember what kind of lamps my bowling alley had, but I liked these ones, so I put them there. I think we added like a bowling pin on every table as well, maybe, or maybe it's just a plant. I don't know. Did we already add them? No, we didn't. Okay. And then I just added some arcade machines over here. I know there is an arcade area in the bowling alley, but I don't actually remember really where it was versus also like the cafe, because I never went to it. I only ever went to the vending machines, and I would always buy fruit lifesavers. That was my treat. Every time I went bowling, little kid Tanya was just like, I need my lifesavers. And so I would always get those at the vending machine. And that'd be plenty for me for the day. It was... Now I want some fruity lifesavers. I haven't had those in a while. Oh, goodness. But anyway, like, the exterior of this build is fairly simple. Because I feel like bowling alleys are pretty simple. They don't have many, if any, windows. And they tend to just be kind of boxy. Nothing too crazy architectural. So that's what we did. I was going to try and put these chairs in there, but it didn't make sense because it's a little cafe area, so I tried to squeeze them in over here, which I think worked out. We just had to move stuff around a bunch because I wanted to have like a table you could sit down and eat in the cafe, which, once again, I never used as a kid. I know you could buy food there, but since we always got McDonald's, we never bothered buying food there. The only thing I ever bought was lifesavers. Actually, I think I sometimes bought sodas too, like Mountain Dew. Yeah, I was a big fan of Mountain Dew Code Red as a kid, and I probably bought that while I was there, unless I bought Sprite. I don't know. I don't know which ones I got. Oh, goodness. I don't know if they had Coke or if they had Pepsi. That would determine it. So I either got Mountain Dew Code Red or I got Sprite, depending on if they were Pepsi or Coke. Bowling alley, I don't really remember. But finally adding in the other shoe rack over there. I think the placement I used for the shoes is a little weird because they were like behind the counter and you went into like a room and you'd try them on and it was like a shoe room. I should have included that in here, but I didn't think to do that. I also had limited space because I think everyone that's made a bowling alley has mentioned this so far. They like underestimated how much space they would need. And I totally relate. The bowling alleys are pretty big, and that made it a little difficult. We had to add a bunch of lighting up here because these lights that came with the bowling pack, I like them, but they they don't have any light coming out of them. So we had to get a bunch of little wall lights that I put right behind the alleys like this to light up the area. Which you can't see them from just viewing from the bottom, but it helps so you can see that the back wall is blue. I wanted to bring some of the colors of the carpet out. That's why there's a blue wall and there's orange benches. I don't remember what color the walls were in my theater. Well, I do kind of. They had like crazy patterns on the walls. I guess like that chevron wall that has the little lights. We had weird lights like that, but the wall was like black and pink and kind of looked like outer space sort of. So I couldn't really figure out how to do that, so I didn't include it. And like I said, the bathrooms weren't in these corners, but I think it worked out quite fine putting them over there. They're out of the way, and we were able to include everything that we needed into this. So what I ended up doing is I just did one bathroom and then I copied the room and put it on the other side, which I'm glad I thought of because I never think of that when I'm making builds and there's two bathrooms that are exactly the same. I just rebuild it, but I just flipped the walls so that they're opposite each other, which I think worked out just fine. What are we doing now? Are we just checking to make sure everything's okay? Oh no, I added like a little register right here, so when you walk in you can like pay to go in. Thought that was probably a good idea, so people are paying to get into the bowling alley. Of course your Sims aren't actually going to, but you know, nice for storytelling purposes and make it look a little bit realistic. So that's what we're doing here. You know, ugly orange. Yeah, I think that's a little bit more of an accurate color for what color the chairs we had at the bowling alley were. Oh, goodness. But Also, I think I originally set this as a lounge, but there was too many requirements for a lounge, so I think I changed it to a bar venue type, since bowling alleys can be placed on, what's it called? Bars, lounges, and nightclubs. So I believe this is just a bar, so it should have like bar hours and stuff, and of course Moonlight Bowling will be enabled, which is gonna be so exciting. Wanted to add a little bit of detail to the exterior, not too much. Added some foundation and some steps over here. Of course, gotta add the little deck first. And then out the side where I put those paintings, we end up having some more, what's it called? A little bit more detail over there. We have some poles coming off the side of the wall, and I think we ended up adding a little bit of a garden area as well. Which I thought was really cool, and I hope you guys like it too. We sized up these decorations. I don't remember what those came from. Get Together, maybe? I've been using them more recently. They're like really nice architectural pieces to just add a little bit of extra oomph to like whatever builds you're doing. So I thought those were kind of cool on the side of the building. And so that's what we're doing, and trying to add some sidewalk out here too. I've been like loving this one particular sidewalk. I think it's actually called Sidewalk Slabs. And so we're placing that around as well, adding a little bit more trim to the place, you know, give it a little bit more detail. And we're getting close to the end here. We just got to do a little garden on the side. And then, oh, of course, dirt. You know, dirt is a big part of this channel. Oh goodness, I feel like I never know how to like voice over, like, oh, we're putting dirt around the place. I say it every time, and it just sounds awkward every time, so, you know, dirt. Here's where I'm changing it to a bar, and then it needed more stools, so we added more stools in there, and a stereo, so we just added some wall speakers. I really wish I had thought to add the jukebox in here. That would have fit really well for this lot type. Or the fact that it's a bowling alley. I thought a jukebox would have been cool, but I didn't think to add it. But you guys can add that if you download this for yourself, which of course you can do by going on the Sims 4 gallery and searching either Griffy or the hashtag MsGryphi. It's probably got other hashtags too, like bowling, but that's how you can find it. You can download it for yourself and play with it in your game. Like I said, it is a bar. Lot, I don't remember what size it is, but it'll show up when you search on the gallery and you find it. It'll show up and tell you what lot size it is. But yeah, we're just checking to make sure everything's all good here and adding another sign on the side of the building. Oh, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.